Today, we will be discussing disaster preparedness and the nurse's role, transforming chaos into coordinated care through leadership, innovation, and systemic readiness. A disaster is a sudden disruption that interrupts normal community function. The tipping point, a mass casualty incident, is reached when the number of victims completely exceeds available local resources. And that's the moment care philosophy shifts from individual best outcome medicine to the greatest good for the greatest number. The National Incident Management System, or NIMS, is a unified standardized response model overseen by the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. It applies across natural disasters, floods, earthquakes, fires, hurricanes, terrorist events including bioterrorism, and industrial or transport accidents like plane and train crashes or toxic spills. Its core purpose is to prevent chaos, reduce loss of life, and preserve community function. Response escalates along a predictable curve. In Phase 1, communities are strictly required to sustain themselves for up to 5 days before outside assistance arrives. When local resources deplete, that triggers activation of the State Office of Emergency Management. When state resources deplete, that triggers a request for federal assistance. Phase 3 is federal activation, deployment of the National Health Security Strategy to ensure a rapid, coordinated, large-scale emergency response. Local and state preparedness rests on 4 pillars: sustainability and stockpiles, maintaining physical resources to endure that critical 5-day isolation window; vulnerability assessments, comprehensive hazard vulnerability assessments to predict localized threats, training and simulation, continuous drills and scenario exercises to build readiness and confidence, and mutual aid agreements. Pre-established legal and operational contracts between facilities and neighboring communities. All of this is coordinated by local emergency management task forces, emphasizing early communication before federal involvement is ever needed. National response is directed by a federal triad. Health and Human Services leads national health, medical, and social service coordination. The Department of Defense engages military branches for logistical support and emergency supply lines. And Homeland Security develops national strategies for counterterrorism, prevention, and overarching security. Underneath that triad sits an alphabet soup of agencies. The CDC leads disease prevention and control, backing up state and local health departments. NDMS is the multi-agency system, coordinating massive federal and private sector medical response. The FDA ensures the safety and efficacy of drugs, biologics, devices, and the food supply. And the U.S. Public Health Service is a specialized division of HHS, a cross-disciplinary corps of health professionals promoting national safety. On the ground, disaster medical assistance teams, DMATs, are volunteer units operating under NDMS, deploying field hospitals for triage, stabilization, and evacuation. And they're required to be self-sufficient for 72 hours. The American Red Cross provides shelter, food, volunteer coordination, and long-term emotional recovery. And threat assessments are communicated in tiers, a specific immediate threat versus a credible but general one. The Incident Command System is the federally mandated structure that organizes and directs disaster response, coordinating personnel, equipment, facilities, and communications. Within it, specific roles identify hazardous substances and determine protective measures, manage the critical use and distribution of PPE, and hold the authority to decide when an incident has officially ended. The Hospital Incident Command System, HICS, is an explicit adaptation of the federal ICS, tailored strictly for hospital survival. Key leadership positions include the Operations Chief, Safety Officer, Public Information Officer, Liaison Officer, Logistics Chief, Planning Chief, and Finance Chief, each owning a distinct piece of the hospital's response. COVID-19 was a real-world stress test of this entire framework, running along both an operational track and a regulatory and scientific track simultaneously. The enduring lesson: disaster plans require continuous adaptability, rigorous communication, and unwavering trust in science. Ultimately, disaster nursing is a mindset, not just a skill set. It means operating simultaneously as a clinical caregiver and the team anchor, drawing on composure, communication, and leadership through overwhelming crises. It's built on a foundation of preparedness and education, and its ultimate goal is protecting life, health, and community stability in the face of absolute uncertainty. Bringing the whole framework together, A mass casualty incident triggers a triage-based approach to stabilize the maximum number of victims, governed by NIMS and bounded by the 5-day rule, requiring local self-sufficiency before federal assistance arrives. Federal support runs through HHS and the CDC for health coordination, DHS and FEMA for security and resource management, and DMAT teams self-sufficient for 72 hours in the field. At the hospital level, HICS adapts that same command structure for personnel and logistics, with the nurse serving as the team anchor, managing PPE, identifying hazards, and coordinating communication across the whole leadership structure. From the federal level down to the bedside, it's one coordinated system built around the greatest good for the greatest number.